What's going on, guys? It's your boy Going for Wins, coming back at you with episode 5 of our Manchester City Master League career mode. Man, we are moving strong, moving. With this video, it's going to be a little shorter one. It's just the last of the deadline day. I'm going to be doing, some deadline deals, getting some signings in. Again, for me personally, I don't think that City really needs to sign anybody. I know it's supposed to be fun and enjoyable, and we're supposed to sign all kind of massive players and so on and so forth. But the reason why I think I want to keep it as realistic as possible for this particular career mode is because there's just not enough teams in this game to where if I start pulling all the best players from the best leagues, I feel like it's just going to be watered down, and it's just really going to be me versus everybody else. If you guys understand what I'm saying. Like, don't get me wrong, when we come for season 2 or even in January, then I will start to go ahead and buy some more players. But for the most part, I think Dybala was a good signing. And I think I signed one more player here as well. But for the most part, again, I think with the signing of with signing Riyad Mahrez already, and then me signing Dybala, and then having Laporte from January of last season, I don't really need to beef up the squad anymore. Honestly, I feel. Again, I think the biggest weakness will probably be I wouldn't, and not even necessarily a weakness, but I think the biggest thing that I do want to look forward is that heir apparent to Fernandinho, definitely. So I am looking at probably playing Douglas Luiz a little bit this season if I didn't loan him, but also probably putting Gundogan in the center offensive mid spot as well. So January will be a big transfer market for me in terms of signing. Again, like I said, I don't really think I need too much. I don't want to just get in this mode of let me just steal all the best players from the best clubs. I did sign a backup keeper, as you can see here, because I did sell Claudio Bravo to, I don't remember what team I sold him to, but he wasn't really going to get that much playing time anyway, so I'm just going to sign a nice young keeper as well to have just 2 of them. I just figured why not, and I was able to sell Claudio for like 27 million, which is absolutely probably would not happen in real life. I can probably see him getting sold for more in the area of between 10 to 15, if that. But we'll see. But for the most part, this is just really going to be a simple, quick video that I'm doing this afternoon. I will put out episode 6 either tonight or tomorrow for sure. But again, I'm trying to get in this habit of maybe releasing a video every other day or every day. So this video in particular is just a little buffer in between, a bridge, just to give you guys something. And again, just to kind of look at how the transfer window works in this. Because again, this is definitely different than FIFA's transfer window, and I'll actually get to FIFA in a second, because if you guys don't already know, today FIFA 19 demo dropped, and I just actually played a little bit of that, and I will give to my thoughts here. I'll do a short brief what I think of the game here in a second, even though this is the PES career mode. I do, at the end of the day, like I said, it's soccer, so I do kind of want to get in that. But if you guys can see here, when it comes to the transfer window, it's sort of the same as FIFA's. Instead of that little countdown, that we get at the end of the transfer window. So this is the same way, except for it seems like after every negotiation, your hours go down by an hour. So again, it was very tedious. It's very long. I think this is probably a downside of PES. I think at the end of the transfer window, I think it should be more FIFA-esque, or just something, because I didn't really like how I was able to talk to a player, offer him a contract, then I lose an hour. Then I talk to another player, do a contract, and I lose an hour. It's not like I can just jumble them all up and then, within that hour, talk to as many players as I want to and then negotiate them. This was more so like unfortunate in terms of after you spend 1 hour for every player that you play, or try to sign rather, and it was a little disappointing, but whatever. And as you can see here, I'm just kind of looking at our competitions that we are in. Obviously, we're in the FA Cup, the Community Shield, we already won. The Premier League, we're obviously in, and then the Champions League is obviously the biggest thing, so this was a nice thing to see as well. I was just kind of looking at who advanced to the group stage of the competition. Again, very unfortunate that the Champions League license has been lost from PES, but at the end of the day, it is what it is. And I still think that it's a good representation, even though, again, it's just very unfortunate when you look at these participating teams. It's kind of like Oh my gosh. I'm just going to go group by group, starting from Group A, and then, just kind of looking at everybody. As you can see, I'm not going to go through and name all the teams, but you could kind of just pause where you want to and see what groups are where. But I do spend a couple seconds here just trying to just show you guys who is involved in the groups. Again, most of these teams in real life are obviously go to the Champions League, but then there's a couple teams in here that I'm like, As you can see, we're in Group C with Shakhtar in real life, Spartak Moscow, I think, and then Slavia Praha. Excuse my pronunciation, but those are the teams, as you can see, in Group C, which I think is a favorable group for us to win. I don't see us not being able to finish the top of the group, but remains to be seen. So anyways, real quick, I do want to talk about the FIFA 19 demo just really briefly. I don't want to get too in-depth in it, as you guys are just looking at the group stages here. Honestly, I am a little disappointed in FIFA 19. I know it's the demo, but let's be honest, what we are playing right now, FIFA drops in 2 weeks from tomorrow, I think, or Tuesday if you get the ultimate editions or whatever. But nonetheless, it drops in 2 weeks, so I imagine that the game is still going to be the same. Sure, they might update it a little bit here and there. Right now it's crunch time, but for the most part, I still feel like, as you guys already know, I'm sure I'm talking to a whole bunch of FIFA fans out there, but the demo that we're playing right now is more than likely going to be the official game when it comes out in 2 weeks. So my thoughts on it, really, to be honest with you, it plays the exact same as FIFA 18. Sure, there is a couple little nitpicky things in here that you could do, but nothing was really different. And not that I was expecting a massive jump from FIFA 18 to FIFA 19, because it's been the same since FIFA 15. But at the same time, it's just a little disappointed. But it was cool to see the little Champions League in there. It was cool to have 2 new different announcers, but the announcers were pretty stale as well. They don't really talk about the histories of the teams, or really we're talking about the leagues. And maybe, again, it's just probably because it's the demo and it's very limited and they're just kind of showcasing what they have. But for the most part, like I said, I was a little disappointed there. Just as a FIFA fanatic, as a soccer fanatic, it was just I was just wow, this is really the same game. It looks a smidge better. The graphics have been tweaked a little bit, but the overall package of the game is the exact same. I'm still going to buy FIFA, of course. It is what it is. I love soccer, so I'm still going to buy it day one. I'm still going to play it. Still going to put content out. But, I'm still one of those fans that's just man, these companies spend over a year or however long. I'm sure they're looking at FIFA 20, FIFA 21 next, but they have all this time to just do something, but they don't. It's very unfortunate. But anyways, that's just my little thing about FIFA 19. I will do that in a whole separate video. I was just looking at our youth squad, which, a big thing for me, both in FIFA and in PES, which I'll try to do in PES because I don't know how their FIFA squad work or youth squads work. But me, I'm the kind of manager, at least in the games, that I do like to use my youth players. I do like to loan them out. I do like to find the best of the best. I do try to implement them in the team. But I feel like FIFA and PES, they need to come up with an idea to where your young players are in some sort of academy and not just sitting there, not doing anything. In PES's part, as you guys saw a couple minutes ago, my youth players are just sitting there. I have no idea what they're doing. I don't know if they're training. I don't know. I need some sort of information. I feel like we need information for what my players are doing. They should have a background game or something or whatever. And in FIFA's case, the youth players, same thing. They just kind of sit there. Yes, they're in the academy. Yes, you can train them while they're in the academy. Yes, you can sign them to the first squad, but then they just sit there. There's no real benefit. Again, yes, there's a benefit, but there's no benefit to having the youth players on the team, because more than likely a lot of them aren't going to get play time. I do play them here and there when we're playing in the League Cup or the FA Cup in the beginning of the rounds, but for the most part, or they might get a couple minutes here and there at the end of the game, but they don't play. And I feel like youth is such a big thing in soccer, obviously, that there needs to be some sort of Academy B team or something. I don't know. The loan system doesn't work. I feel like it's really broken, because anytime I sign a youth player and then I bring him onto my senior squad, but then I put him on loan, sometimes they go, but most times they don't. And I feel like in a game, or I feel like in FIFA and in PES's case, I feel like if you put your player on loan, he should always go out on loan, no matter what team he goes to, whether it's a lower league side or a big league side. I still feel like the minute that you say that your youth player or your player that's not going to get any play time is in the loan, he should just a team should be able to come and offer for him. He shouldn't have to go through a whole transfer period of not being or just staying on the loan list the entire time. There's dozens and dozens and dozens of teams out there, which the players that I'm picking, obviously they have great potential between 82 and 90. What team out there wouldn't want to sign a player that has, the potential to be special trait, instead of just sitting there? But whatever. I digress from that. But again, the youth squad is just another big thing for me. And honestly, a great FIFA career mode. I know I said I was going to get off FIFA's, but one thing about the FIFA career mode that I would love to see is just something to implement the youth squad. I don't care if everything else stays the same, but let's do something with the youth squad. But again, like I said, there wasn't really too much going on in this video. This is just kind of a buffer between episodes 5 and 6, just doing the last bit of business at the end. Nothing really showing. I'm just kind of looking at players, just kind of filling out and, getting through the rest of the transfer period. But for the most part, I mean, this is going to be, I'm very excited for all the love that you guys have been showing. You guys have been watching like crazy. You guys have been commenting like crazy, subscribing like crazy. Like, man, this is absolutely amazing. And I'm looking forward to getting episode 6 out to you guys here soon. I will probably do a live stream of a FIFA demo real quick just to kind of talk about it. Maybe sometime tomorrow or sometime this weekend. We'll see. But that's going to wrap up this video. Again, I appreciate all of you guys and the support and the love. Don't worry, my mic is coming soon. I'm ordering it again this weekend because I guess the one I did order was on back order. But I will talk to you guys later. Going for Wins is out.